Okay, so Tommy, we have covered in a past video the vehicles that I've already actually physically ordered, all brand new, all spec'd out. Check out that video if you want to go check those out. We have covered my entire collection that I've already got here. But one thing that we did not talk about at all was what I'm actually going to be ordering this year. So the cars that are used or older or vibey, or that I could go and essentially buy at any time. And I've created a list of those cars that I'm going to go over today that I've thought very carefully through, and I think will be awesome adds to the collection. I would love your feedback on each one of these cars. Let me know what you think. Comment there below. Subscribe to see us doing a bunch of crazy fun as these cars arrive, and with all the other cars, hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you. And so we're going to go through those now. The first one, I'm just going to get this out of the way because I've been wanting to do it for a while, is going to be a Lamborghini Diablo. I love the Countach so much, and the Diablo is like a special vibey car. I have never driven one. I did drive the Murcielago, I've driven the Aventador and owned one, but the Diablo just looks badass. I think it'll be a really fun vibe. And there's a really cool yellow SV that sold. Tell me, what was the specific? It was
the Monterey edition. Yeah,
Monterey
I think it was
edition.
super red. I had a photo.
That was purchased by the guys at Curated, and obviously I'm not going to buy that one, but that was the one that really inspired me and got me super into getting me a Diablo. Diablo's at the top of the list.
A manual Diablo would be sick.
By the way, we're taking a drive to pick the kids up from school, so thanks for riding along with us.
Well, speaking of Diablos, let's jump right into it with the Murcielago, the car that I am most excited for. I was actually looking this week. So an LP640, which is the later edition Murcielagos that have been updated, there's a blue one, Monterey Blue. They're asking over $1 million. That's not even an SV. It's just a Mercy with a 6-speed. Isn't that
That's
nuts?
crazy. I know that the 6-speeds are going for a lot more money than the E-Gear ones.
Yep.
And
he sold his Aventador because he didn't like the transmission. So
very rough.
The E-Gear Mercy's going to be that, but worse.
It's like the older version of the transmission
worst,
that I hate.
Yes. There are some options in the Murcielago. We could do a first gen, that's E-Gear. Those are super cheap. We could do an LP640, that's E-Gear, a little more expensive. We could do a first gen that's gated, more expensive, but not as crazy as a gated LP640. Where of those four, what do you think you want? Do you want an E-Gear, or do you want like a first gen?
I think that I would say with that one, Stradman had the first gen 6-speed, right?
Yeah.
I drove his and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I don't know that the Murcielago fits into the new. Real quick, buying strategy and driving strategy has changed into vibe cars, really special supercars like my Porsche GT3 RS, and then hypercars. So the Mercy is kind of like, it's just starting to hit that vibe, but I think that the older model ones hit that vibe characteristic where the newer ones not as much, because they built that up until like 08.
Yeah, 08 or 09. Yeah, I think you're right. 08.
So those cars don't fully hit the vibe years, but I feel like I'd lean towards older because it's cheaper and it has the 6-speed gated
But
transmission.
if you were, and again, this is the most expensive option, probably the best investment, if you were to do a Murcielago SV that is E-Gear, that could be in that super special supercar category, and that car I think would fit in the collection very well. I think a Mercy SV would be freaking insane. They look the best. They sound crazy.
You know what would be insane though, Tommy? The next one on the list, and this nobody has this car, right?
That I know of, no one.
He's like, I don't know which car he's picking. He's got. The
I know.
Do you, let
ends with a 110.
This is you got it. The Bugatti EB110. I actually really like that car. It hits the vibe check because it's in the 90s model. It's the first one that they started redesigning after they shuttered the company many years prior. And I think they call it the EB110 because it throws back homage to the founder's birth, which was 110 years prior to that. Ettore Bugatti. That's how it's pronounced, right?
Yep.
Although he's an Italian guy that moved to France to launch the company. So the EB110 looks like a badass vehicle. When you look at the specs and the horsepower, even for back in the day, that was an insane car. I don't know how that car, why was it the Veyyron that really became mainstream for Bugatti? Like when that one was...
It broke the record. Like the Veyyron, that's why. It was the
enough.
fastest car ever made.
The EB110 still has some incredible numbers in terms of power output. And
I love the EB110, but in my opinion...
I passed at my kid's school.
I was wondering why.
So, like, where
I
are
almost said
you
something.
U-turns.
Keep this in the video.
I got in the groove.
Talking about cars.
All right, back to school.
Sorry, sorry, Logan.
Oh, back to school.
Yeah, I feel like the EB110's a lot like a Pug, where it's so ugly it's cute. Where like the car's cool. Like yeah, exactly. Thank you, thank you. But the car's so ugly that it's cool.
Yes.
Like
I don't think it's
seeing that.
Have you seen the SS?
Yeah, that's just badass.
Yes.
But that's big.
Yes.
That's big money.
No, it's like $2 million. Those cars are surprisingly cheap. This is the first Bugatti that they built. Probably put a ton of money in. Yeah, the EB110s are like mid ones right now, and then the SS might be low twos. That's not cheap, right? But
I was thinking 5-6 million.
I genuinely don't think so. But we should look into that.
If you guys know, comment below.
Really want to get a Bugatti EB110 this year. And yeah, so
we did the 2 Lamborghinis. We'll do the 2 Bugattis.
Yeah, let's do it. The other Bugatti was another one that James Stradman helped influence, and that was the Bugatti Veyyron. That changed my life and my perspective. I used to hate these cars. Like, ask Tommy. He told me about getting them, and I would shut him down.
Oh, so harder than any car I've like suggested, recommended. I'm like, hey, what do you think about a Veyyron? There was no nothing. There was no option. He was like, no, not gonna do it. And you drove one, and you love it.
I drove it, and it has the power of my Chiron. It has the drivability and kind of feel of a Porsche, and it's just raw, and it was a really, really great, well-built car. The interior and the exterior are not quite as cloudy, but cloudy, not cloudy. But it was just a really phenomenal car that surprised and shocked me. And those are still really affordable in terms of, I think they said it cost them $3 to $4 million to build each one of those, and they lost money on those just so that Volkswagen owned them at the time, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They lost money on those just so that Volkswagen could prove to the world that they could build the fastest car in the world. So interesting story behind that.
They're awesome cars.
Yeah, and those are in the 1.3 to 1.5 range for a really clean one with lower miles. You can get the Super Sport or the Vitesse for
they're like mid-twos.
Other than that one spec, but yeah. So we got 4 cars out of the way, 2 Lamborghinis, 2 Bugattis. Not a bad spread so far. How many total cars do I have on that I put on that list?
I think a bunch. Let me look.
I was on a plane to Florida. Naturally, I was traveling, and that's when my mind gets working about buying cars. I probably ended up buying a car that trip, but that's when I was talking back and forth with them. I'm literally on the plane to Florida. And
wait, you did buy a car that trip?
I probably did.
I don't remember. There's too many cars.
I probably did, but
2 more. The Aventador Roadster, which is a car that.
Oh my gosh, dude, James.
I know he's a bad influence. That was an expensive trip for you.
He's a bad influence. He literally pushed me over the edge on the Mercy because I was thinking about one, but I didn't want one. Mm-hmm. He definitely influenced me into getting the Bugatti. And then, yeah, the Aventador, I hated that car. But that one was not about drivability. That was just about the way that it looked with the Liberty Walk wide body kit that he did himself.
It sounds insane.
Yep, coupled with the different like body kit that it has. His was the Pirelli edition. Lots of gas coming out.
That car actually got wrecked in Chicago locally to us. 4 a.m. It hit a cop car and like ripped in half. I'm pretty sure. It didn't rip in half, but it was effed up.
That'd be pretty cool if it ripped in half. Tape that back together.
There's been a couple cars downtown that have ripped in half.
So it would have to be. And his isn't even like an SVJ or an SV. It is just a Pirelli.
It's the Pirelli Roadster. Yeah, that's it. There's no like special.
Did he, because there's like different aero pieces around the Roadster, does the Roadster just have a neater looking like top?
Yeah,
or did he add?
The back end looks cooler. Like the back engine bay area. It's sweet.
That one I know is not a great driver's car, but that one was really hard. I kept my Aventador. My Aventador was my first supercar ever, for those of you relatively new to the channel. First supercar I ever bought. And I did really like it early on, but I got to hate the transmission and how wide and heavy it was to steer. Even drove an SVJ. Drove an SVJ, felt the same to me. But seeing that car, I know how incredible that it looks, and there's something about it that makes me kind of want one again. And the market has clearly started collapsing. There were no Aventadors below 3 for a good year and a half into COVID, and now they're getting definitely well into the mid 2s at this point. There's my son.
Yay! You did it!
Yay!
Hey, buddy.
He's like, why are you all in the car?
How was school today, my guy? Anyway, so it has to be a Roadster.
Is that a car that you would buy twin turbo? Because like you already had the Aventador. If we were to do like an underground racing full build with wide body, exhaust, everything, like the car at 1,000, 500 horsepower, it was a monster. Is that a car that you would like do the GTR build but over again?
I think I'd be more interested in the Liberty Walk and maybe light mods done, like an exhaust. Like if it had exhaust, wing, Liberty Walk, and it was a bargain or a good deal all day long. If it had that stuff and was still a good deal, sure, but I'd rather have the non-molested one, because I already drive the cars hard enough, and that means that someone else drove it hard if it's got 1,000 horsepower. Fair. So, and then the final car, Tommy, I've forgotten what it is.
I have not. It is a first-gen Viper. It's
that's right.
That Vibe car. Yeah.
That is, so everybody that I talk to that sees my Countach is always like, that's the poster that I had on my wall. And I'm like, well, you're old. It was the mid-'80s. And they're always like, was that the poster that you had on your wall? And I was like, well, I was born in 83, so I didn't turn 7 until 1990. So no, like I wasn't into cars when I was 4 or 5. The car that I had on my wall was when I turned that, 8, 9 years old when they released the Dodge Viper. And for me, that was, it might seem weird to you, but for me, that was like the car that I really, really wanted. So the one that I like specifically is like a red Dodge Viper RT. I think they made some improvements in the 94, 95 model year. I need to look into it a little bit more, but I know that I'm going to get one of the RTs with a removable top. That car is very affordable for what it is and for how much power.
How much are they right now? Do you know?
I think they're about 40. You can get a clean one for around that, and most of them have around 20,000 miles. They go through Bring a Trailer regularly, like constantly. Every week there's pretty much one running, where a lot of the other cars we mentioned, no chance. So Viper is definitely one that's going to happen. Logan, what else do you think I should get, buddy? I talked about the Aventador, the Murcielago, the Diablo, Bugatti EB110, the Veyyron, and the Viper. What am I missing from my collection, buddy?
Like the Lucid Air.
I don't even know what that is.
That'd be cool. I actually like that a lot.
Oh, the Lucid. I do know what that is. I went and looked at one at the
It
dealer.
would like replace your Plaid, basically, maybe more
Yes.
luxurious.
I think they said someone left Tesla, started that, and it's essentially a more luxury version of the electric car. Maybe. That's an interesting,
That's a good
unexpected suggestion. Good job.
Logan knows what's up.
My kids are big car guys. They got into cars a lot earlier than I did. Any other cars I missed that you guys think would be super cool to add to the collection, or that would be at the top of your list that I don't have on order, or are going to buy this coming year?
I think if we found a good deal on F40, I think that car
Agreed.
definitely has a place in your collection at some point.
That's a car that's so expensive that I have to be in a mood where I really I want one, but it's so expensive where if that's a $200,000-$300,000 car, I'm all over it. It's such a badass looking car, but at $2 to even $3 million now,
Yeah.
that one's tough. I can get
If we
some
could have
cooler
gotten
options.
into that gray car that was at Monterey, that was
Yes.
the coach build, it was crazy. If
They
you
didn't
get
even
that
sell
car
that,
for
though.
like 1.8, 2.1
Yes.
million, like that range,
All day.
they want crazy money for that car, but that would have been a cool car.
Natalia, what's the one car that you think there's a gap that I don't
We
have?
already
on order?
have two M5s,
Well,
so we don't need any more JDM.
well, I know you don't want it, but I want you to get an Audi Avant, an RS6
Oh,
Avant.
yes.
Actually,
That is-
Preach.
the Audi Van is the wagon, right?
Yes.
I actually I'm not gonna get one, but like
That discussion's
well,
over.
why would I drive that?
That's fair.
I don't know.
They're just sick.
Yeah.
It is, but if I have people haulers, I have the Urus.
True.
That, to me, that's more cool to drive than that. I
Gotta
have
upgrade the
Escalade
roller
that right now.
Oh God.
You should get
If-
the Mercedes AMG 1.
Oh, I know. Dang it! You're talking Tommy's like, oh, shut up. So the Audi Avant actually would be a badass car. I don't dislike those cars. Those cars are actually really, really cool. Tommy, help the man.
My man.
Hi, Jiki. How was your day?
Crawling over me.
How was your day? Tommy, you're gonna have to not come back in the car. There's no
All right.
space.
I'll see you guys.
Welcome.
Starts walking.
Ciao, Buck.
You should have kept walking, bro.
Can you imagine?
Hilarious
No,
for
there's
the
like
vlog.
kids over here.
Uh,
Would you replace your wire with a BC? Are you like actively looking for a BC or BC Roadster?
I think that I would. Yeah, if the right deal came along, I would definitely replace that. Yeah, I would definitely get a BC or BC Roadster. I'm really getting into Roadsters now at this point, so I think that if given the choice to order any new car and they have a clean-looking Roadster, that's going to be the spec.
But the Wyra you would replace for a Wyra BC or just a regular Wyra Roadster.
If the price was right, yeah, I would definitely replace for a BC
Awesome.
or a Roadster.
That'll be cool.
Cool. Thanks for coming along with the ride. If there's anything you want to see in that collection, comment below. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see all these awesome cars arrive into the stable. As always, we appreciate you guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you.